global leader with Life Advantage. She is the wife to Nick, mom to Dylan, who's 20, and mom to Asher, who's 16. She lives in Huntington Beach, California, and leads with both her heart and her grit. That could not be more true. She's a college dropout turned entrepreneur. Jenny spent 9 years in the mortgage industry and launched her own mortgage company at the age of 26. After the 2008 housing crash wiped out everything for her family that her family built, she discovered network marketing and ultimately her passion for health and wellness and helping people create freedom. Jenny joined Life Advantage in January of 2012, and within 3 years replaced her full-time income. Over the past 13 years, she has built a multi-million-dollar global team and has a thriving community to go ahead and back her up with that as well. She is widely recognized for her innovative approach to social media marketing and has created simple, replicatable systems that have accelerated growth and influence across her team. Her mission is to help people build a life with purpose, freedom, and impact using modern strategies to create extraordinary results. That sounds great, right? I was like, geez, I might have her write Bible for me. That sounds really awesome. Then next up, we also will be hearing from Ashley Locklin. You guys remember Ashley from last night? One of our newest EC ones. Ashley has been in online marketing space for 10 years now. She started her network marketing journey with Beachbody, made it to the top of the company, but got burnt out and decided to create her own courses teaching women to make money online through the online courses, memberships, and masterminds. She lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with her husband Sean, who lost 50 pounds on MindBody. Let's go ahead and throw that out. Congratulations, Sean. And their 4 young kids. She swore off network marketing until she found Life Advantage and is loving it here now that she is in the fast lane and found her home. So, we got 2 amazing individuals. Let's not take any more time. Please put your hands together for Ashley and Jenny.
We're going to blow and go with this, but I'm so thankful. First off, can you see our love bio family? Can you guys stand up? You guys are I'm with Ashley. You guys, I've been doing social media for 6 years, and I am learning so much from her. So you guys get ready to take some notes. We're going to teach you how to confidently share our hero products. We want an army of people leaving this room today confident about effectively sharing our story and being able to utilize social media, at least the basics. All right, so as we get lunch today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I found Life Advantage 13 years ago. I'm about ready to celebrate my 14th year, and I'm going to share a story from stage that I've never shared before. When we found Life Advantage, we had $50 in our bank account. I'll never forget the moment I was sitting outside of a Trader Joe's, in my driver's seat of my car, bawling my eyes out because I knew that when I stepped inside that store, I wasn't going to be able to afford to buy the food I needed for my kids. And I'll never forget the moment that an angel appeared to me right above me in the seat of my car, and she said, "Sweetie, I don't know you, but everything's going to be okay. God is going to provide everything you need." And there's those moments in life that you know a transition is about to happen. 2 weeks later, I sat on Carrie Dickey's couch, my sister-in-law, and there was a divine thing that happened. It wasn't her, although she had been trying to share the business and the opportunity with me for 2 years. So don't give up on the people you love, you guys. But it was God literally coming down and saying, "This is what I have for you. I'm gonna provide everything that you need." And almost 14 years later, I have a beautiful team of leaders that are empowered and was in my heart, a lady that shared with me that changed everything. You guys, we live in a world where people are struggling. If you see someone struggling, be that person for them. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. My husband, Nick, has supported me from the very beginning. You guys, if you're a spouse, support your spouse. It's gonna mean everything. It's gonna be the difference between success and failure in your business. My husband was gone. He was a chef, just like Andre Ebert, Andrea's husband. We never saw him. Holidays, birthdays, weekends. I wanted my husband back, okay? 2 years ago, he got to step away from full-time work and launch his own private chef agency. Today, he is currently at the house expanding that agency into an estate agency, and they're set to do about $500,000 this next year. You guys, when you live your life on purpose and you follow your dreams, you give other people permission to do so, even the people closest to you in your family. You can be that person that breaks those generational curses of poverty and sadness. So just know that your story matters.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. So 10 years ago, I was in a doctoral program and I needed money, so I joined a network marketing company. And when I started, they said, okay, you need to message 5 to 10 people a day and ask them if they want to buy these workouts from you. And I was like, over my dead body. What do you want me to say? Hey, fatty, do you want to lose weight? Like, no. I'm going to do it my way. So I started to post on social media and share my story. And it blew up. I got so many sales from people who resonated with what I was sharing. So I became very successful. I was able to leave my job, retire my husband, and love life. But we got really burnt out in that business because the compensation plan was very difficult. And at the same time, I had so many people reaching out to me saying, Ashley, I don't want to join you because I have my own business, but can I pay you to learn how to do social media? Can you do a call with me? And so I started to create online courses, memberships, masterminds for women to brand themselves and make money online. So last year, it was the day after Thanksgiving when I felt like a busted can of biscuits, and I saw my friend Lacey post about my body. And I was like, that's exactly what I need. So I messaged her. I'm everyone's dream customer. I'm like, hey Lacey, I saw your post and I have the link, I'm ready to buy. And she's like, okay, well, do you want to promote the products? And I was like, oh, absolutely not. Like, I don't want to be a part of network marketing, and I don't want to show my body on the internet. And when you see what I do now, you're going to laugh. But she said, oh, just get on a call with my upline, Courtney. You all met Courtney yesterday with the Jeep, and she's the most lovely person. She's like, oh, Ashley, it's fine. You can just be an affiliate, you can just share your link. And I was like, okay, I know that I'm going to get hot, and my audience is going to be like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm going to want to share my link with them. So, okay, I'll do this. I did one story, got hundreds of messages. I posted one reel, it went viral. And I was like, okay, people want this, and it works. And so that's how I've been able to build this business so quickly, is by leveraging social media and just sharing my story. And I'm going to teach you how to do the same so that you can have more impact and more success by working less. So what we're going to do today is go over how to niche down, tell your story, market the products, use language that works, use social media to make more sales, and talk about the business. So, let's go. These are the products that we are going to focus on. These are the core products, and we're going to teach you how to market these really effectively and simply. But my favorite part is niching down and telling your story. So storytelling is the most powerful form of marketing because facts tell, stories sell. Yesterday we sat in here and we watched a presentation on the science of P84. And I honestly cannot tell you one single fact or statistic that they share. All those numbers, like, I can't tell you a single one. But what I can tell you is every bit of Sean Ho's story. When he got sick, his wife got sick, their kids, the bank robbery. Every time I go into a bank, I'm going to think about Sean Ho. Every time I go into Trader Joe's, I'm going to think about Jenny. Why? Because stories are what we connect with and we remember, right? There was a study done where researchers took a bunch of items. They bought a bunch of insignificant items for a few cents or a few dollars. And I'm talking like a ceramic bathroom tile. and an elephant, or a little Russian wooden doll. And they went to these writers and they said, we want you to come up with a story for each of these items, giving them some meaning. Think like, this was my grandmother's Russian doll, and she brought it over on the boat from Russia. And they put these stories and these items on eBay. And the items that they bought for a few cents, they sold for a few $1,000s. Why? Because of the story. People buy stories. They're buying you, not Rotanda. They're buying your story. So if you're sitting here thinking like, well, what story am I supposed to tell? That's what we're going to help you do today. So the first thing I want you to do is to uncover your stories by creating what I call a struggle web. I did this 10 years ago, and it's what catapulted my success. I want you to think about all of the struggles you've had in your life as they relate to this business. So think about dieting, health, energy, any physical problems that you have. You'll see mine. Like I talk a lot about doing the Special K diet where we had to eat 2 bowls of Special K a day. Who remembers that? Right? Okay, so you get it. So whenever I'm like, what do I talk about today? I just rotate between one of these stories. What you don't see on here is the business part. And I really want you to think about why you are doing this business, not the beauty pageant answer. I just want to help people. No, really, why are you here? So for me, my mother was an addict and is still an addict. She left me when I was a toddler. I lived with my dad. We had no money. I spent my entire childhood sleeping in his bedroom on a little mattress on the floor. And my whole life, I looked at other families. And I was like, I want to be that kind of mom. I want to give my kids things that I never had, and experiences that I never had. And so when people say, Ashley, you're so consistent on social media. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm doing it for my children. I never want them to be embarrassed of where they live, or who their mom is, or what their life is like. And when I share that story, so many moms connect with that. And they're like, I want to give my kids all the things that I didn't have to. So when you really dig deep and you become vulnerable, that's when it's like you unlock a door and all your people are standing there. So this is an assignment I want you to do, is go home and create your struggle web. But you also have to get clear on your audience, because your audience has to connect with those stories. So you really have to get clear on who it is you're trying to attract and bring into your world. How old are they? What's their gender? What are they struggling with? Because when you create that avatar, so my avatar is this big person, and her name is Taylor, that's my middle name, and I know all of her struggles, because she was me 5, 10 years ago. Every time I create content, I think about her. And when you speak to the right person, then they come into your world. It's amazing how this works. And if you're like, no, it didn't work like that, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, my Facebook page was almost at 100,000 followers. And then it got hacked. And the people who hacked it started to post squirrel videos. Okay, like non-stop squirrel videos. And I'm sitting there, I can't get into my account, but I can see it. And I see the follower number just decreasing and decreasing. Because all of these moms who have been following me were like, now Ashley's crazy and she likes squirrels. Like, we're out of here. And then all these weird squirrel people, the ones that like squirrels, they started following me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I ever get this account back, it's jacked. Because now I have all these squirrel followers. Okay? That's how quickly you can repel or attract the right people. When you start posting for the right people and sharing your story, you're going to attract them. People make decisions out of inspiration or desperation, and most often it's desperation. Think of the stories you hear. I was at rock bottom. I was at my lowest point. I was crying in the parking lot of Trader Joe's. So when you focus on your pain points, your struggles, the people who are also experiencing those struggles are going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel so seen, heard, and understood. She gets me, he gets me, I want whatever he or she has. So that's why I want you to create the struggle web. But get clear on who it is you're trying to attract, and stop trying to post content that's too general and vague. You're only going to speak to one person. If you're like, I don't have a social media audience at all, great, you're going to build one. And you can build one quickly by posting for the right people.
Did you do this one?
It's like dropping.
Well, I like this is so good. You can't skip this.
Okay, this is just a simple formula that I use. It's a copywriting formula, but I use this when I'm speaking, in my stories, writing captions, emails. So it's PAS. You want to start with a problem, then you want to poke that problem and agitate it, and then you want to present the solution. So for example, when I'm talking to someone, I'm like, did you turn 40 and start rapidly gaining weight? That's the problem. and everything that used to work no longer worked, and you actually started gaining weight instead of losing weight? Because me too. But guess what? I found these all-natural activators, and they've literally changed my life. I've lost weight and have not been dieting or tracking any of my food. That will sell every single time. So problem, agitated, solution.
Love it. What is she doing here, you guys? She's getting the person on the other side of the screen, or the person that she is talking to raise their hand and say yes, right? So we're going to cover 2 other types of storytelling, and we're just going to take what Ashley taught us and kind of get down to the dirty here, right? Okay, so today we're going to talk about 2 types of storytelling: micro storytelling and bridge storytelling. And I want to challenge you guys today to write down 3 stories in your life. 1 being a vulnerable story. What I love about Ashley is she's so vulnerable online, right? If you go to her page, you're like, well, I even go like, wow, that chick is sharing it, right? But guess what? People relate to that. So I want you to work on that. It's hard to be vulnerable. Sometimes we want to hide behind that mask, right? We think we need to look perfect on social. Well, I'm never going to have a social media following like Ashley. Stop telling yourself that, okay? So I'm going to challenge you guys to come up with 3 stories. 1 being about the product, 1 being about the business, and 1 being vulnerability. So here's some examples of what that would look like. And I want you to understand why this actually works, okay? It's not enough to just share your story, right? You want to do it effectively. So I want you to pick 1 micro story prompt that I just told you, and I want you to get uncomfortable and create either a live video or a reel. And if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, start in your stories, right? Not everybody sees your stories, only the people that follow you. Okay, and I want you to just know that you're going to be bad before you're good and good before you're great. And that's okay. I can remember the very first time I started sharing my story on social media, I was terrified. In fact, I look back on that first post and I'm like, oh dear Lord, right? But guess what? It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. All right, now we're going to talk about the concept of bridge storytelling. I want you to envision the person that you want to bring into this business on the other side of the lake. It's your very dearest friend that you just want them to see the vision. But how do you take what's in your heart? How do you take the passion, the enthusiasm, all of the knowledge about these incredible products and give that to the person on the other side? I remember that was one of the biggest pieces I needed to overcome was my confidence. But guess what? When we become effective bridge storytellers, we get those people from the other side of that lake on the same side as us. Okay? And when you're doing that effectively time and time again, you're going to see massive growth. Ashley went EC1 in less than 1 year. And I have to say this, how many customers do you get a month? I just want you to know.
It depends, but at peak times it was like 15 plus a day.
Okay,
Oh,
so
my.
guess what? She's super effective at bridge storytelling, micro storytelling, and you can do this, okay? I want to actually recommend a book. This is really a life-changing book. I read it. It's Donald Miller's book, How to Build a Story Brand. It's a phenomenal book that explains how to effectively bring people into your world, right? From them going to say, oh, that's good for her, but guess what? I can see myself doing that, okay? And the more, like I said, practice makes perfect. So here's some examples of what that would look like if you're focusing on the products. And then here's an example of what that would look like if you're sharing a business opportunity. If you don't like what I put up here, you can go to ChatGPT and do your own, due diligence. We're going to actually give you some bonus training on that. But this is really a powerful way for you to effectively bring people into your world. All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk about how we personally language and market the hero products. And I'm going to give you the biggest key to success in doing this. Keep it simple. We have so many incredible products, but you need to focus on the tip of the arrow conversation. For Ashley, that's the mind-body system. Okay, I love P84. You guys, how phenomenal of a product. I've been on it for like 5 days, and I'm blown away. All right, so we're going to talk about how you can simply take our products and effectively share that, okay? I want you to learn from me. Sam and Ray know this, but when we first started our presentations about 13 years ago, they were an hour and a half long. We talked about superoxide dismutase, glutathione, all the things. things, and literally people's eyes would glaze over. They're like, oh dear Lord, you know, I mean, I just like to talk, so it was perfect. But it literally turned people off, you guys. We have such powerful products. My dad gave me a piece of advice that I'll never forget. He said the master communicators on the planet are good at keeping it simple. They can relate to the lowest common denominator in the room. I want you to think of this. Pretend like there is a first-grade student sitting in front of you. How can you effectively share the product so that they can understand? So I'm a big analogy person. Do you guys like analogies? Why are analogies so good? Because it takes complex information and it narrows down so that people can understand it. So I'm going to kind of blow through these slides. You guys can take photos. But here's some examples of analogies. I love to explain Protandim Nerve 2 as the foundation, right? When our cellular health is strong, our body is strong. I also take the opportunity to educate them initially as to why this needs to be a lifestyle for them. All right? Don't just assume they're going to take Protandim and stay on it forever, right? Give the vision. Let them know that this is about their cellular health. I also like to say it's like building a house. What needs to be the strongest part of building that when you're building the house?
Foundation.
The foundation, right? So when the foundation is strong, everything else just works better. I also really love our Tri-Synergizer line. Now this was a hard one for me, that's why I always try to refer to the analogies, but this is how I explain the Tri-Synergizer. What we do with Nerve 2 is we put out the house fire. With Nerve 1, we turn on the engine of the car, and within 18, we take out the trash. Super simple, right? I always find that when I share it that way, people totally relate, right? They can get complex information narrowed down into really one sentence. All right, so let's move on. Liquid collagen, you guys, what I love about our products is that they're demonstrable. Our liquid collagen, if you're not documenting your journey and you're just starting on these products, do so. Ashley is a master at documenting her journey and bringing people along, right? Document that. Our products are so demonstrable that all you really need to do is share those testimonials. Okay, why? Because those testimonials, people see those and they're like, I want it. What are we doing, right? We're bridging that gap for them to raise their hand to say yes. All right, here's some examples for the mind-body system. Again, use what works for you. And I love this.
Oh, I missed it.
Whatever genius marketer came up with this analogy, I just gotta give you a big old hug. All right, so how easy is this? Who wants a strong team that wins, right?
Yeah.
We have a strong defense and we have a strong offense. That's what we have for our body. However you want to really convey that message, but I love it. It's easy to understand. You guys don't really need to convince people why they need more nutrients. It's like basic, right? So make sure that you're keeping it simple.
Aww.
And word choice matters. So I keep everything super simple, and I use keywords, buzzwords. So this is another assignment for you, is to write down a list of buzzwords that your audience, whoever they are, whatever age they are, whatever they're struggling with, is going to get their attention. So for me, it's cortisol, moon face, poppy face, cellulite, bumpy, lumpy skin, wrinkles. Okay? That's my demographic. When I look at my analytics on social media, 98% of my followers are women between the ages of 35 and 44. Perfect. So I know who I'm talking to. So I use words that are going to stop their scroll because they're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I have. It's exactly what I need. Word choice matters. Keep it simple.
Love it. Now we're going to move into how we market these products on social media. I want to get a show of hands. How many people are not utilizing social media as of right now? Wow, you guys, this is it. This is your moment. Okay, so we try to keep it simple on our team. I really like, who actually is utilizing the social media stories? Wow, I love it. Quite a few of you. This is a really great way for you to be a little bit more bold in selling the products. So here's an example of how I shared my results with the Healthy Glow staff, as well as the Mind Body System. And I believe with this post that I made with my before and after results, I got about 10 customers just from that one post. So if you're effectively doing this, I promise you, and what I also love about the stories feature is that you can actually put a link for them to click on to actually purchase the product right then and there. I also love that when people view your stories, you can see who's watching you. reach out to them, right? We also on our team have a Telegram chat where we all come together and share our stories so that people can just rip off and duplicate them. I can't even tell you how many times people are like, oh my gosh, I love your story. Can I use it? Please. You guys are more than welcome. Go to Ashley's Instagram, go to mine. Feel free to rip off and duplicate those. But honestly, you guys, it's not about recreating the wheel. It's about being effective with the information that you have.
Remember when I said, I don't want to share my body online, and this is now what my Instagram looks like. Because this is what works, okay? So I just double down on what works. My audience, they want weight loss. So that's all I talk about forward facing, which is what I use in my reels and my posts. So if you go to my Instagram feed, you're only going to see me talk about my body, nothing else. Because that's what brings them in. And then I sell them on the other things behind the scenes, in DMs, emails, stories, all of those things.
That's very focused.
And I am very big on curiosity. You will never, ever hear me say the word mind body. Because what happens if I'm like, I'm using mind body? They're just going to Google it and go buy it from somewhere else. So I'm like, I'm not telling you what I'm doing. So every reel I say, I've done one thing. I did one simple thing. It wasn't a shot, it wasn't a surgery, it wasn't dieting, it wasn't tracking my macros, because I'm very type B and cannot do that. Here's what it is. And they have to comment info. They comment info, then they get the message with the details. Because now I have them. And I'm going to share how I take it a step further in a little bit. With Protandim Nerve 2, I do not talk about activating neural pathways or whatever it does. I honestly don't know. Because what happened was on day one of me taking this, I felt like my vision improved. I felt like somebody wiped my front windshield. And I always tell people, you know when your kids grab your glasses and they fingerprint them all up and they're all smudged and you're like, I can't see. And then you wipe them off and you put them back on and you're like, oh, that's so much better. That's what Protandim Nerve 2 will do to your mom brain, okay? And when you're constantly reaching for coffee, you're going to be amazed that you're like, I actually don't need another cup of coffee. I feel good. I feel good. That's what it's going to do for you. That's what sells, not the science. It's the pain points, the desires. That's what gets women, or whoever your audience is, to say, okay, I need this.
I love it. How great is that analogy? You guys, Ashley is a master storyteller, right? She brings people in. She has those keywords. She really is so effective at it. It blows my mind, Ashley. You're amazing.
And for collagen, I talk about my glow up. Look at this skin transformation in just a few months. It's just wild. So again, my audience, we're at that age where things are starting to get saggy and wrinkly. And so I'm like, let's tighten and tell, girls. Like, this is all you gotta do. And that's what sells.
I love it. So Ashley is a master at Instagram. I actually prefer Facebook, but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and I'm trying to get better. And Facebook's a little bit different, right? Okay, so on Facebook, it's more about sitting down with a person and having a cup of coffee. In fact, statistics show that people on Facebook are more apt to stick around to watch a longer video. Okay, so it's really a platform where you can really kind of get to know people, whereas Instagram is more about niching down. Okay, you have to be really specific. In fact, the last training that we did actually gave a statistic that within 3 minutes on Instagram, you have to have content that can catch somebody's attention.
3 seconds.
Oh, 3 minutes. Oh, sorry, that was totally came out wrong. But seriously, 3 seconds. So think about that. Whereas Facebook, you can do a little bit more there. Okay? So I want you guys to develop, if you're not using Facebook, and you know what? Choose one platform. There's a billion people on both. Don't get overwhelmed and try to master both. Choose one and get really, really good at it, and then move on to the next. All right, so what you're going to do here is you're going to develop your 5 pillars. And your 5 pillars are basically what you're passionate about. Who are you? What is your authentic self? Are you passionate about gardening? Maybe you're passionate about teaching. Maybe you're passionate about medical freedom. Whatever it is, I want you guys to really determine what that looks like for you. And then I want you to get into action, because guess what? All of this business, all of this information is really good, but what happens if you don't implement it? Nothing, right? So we want you to understand that consistency is more important than even being perfect. Sometimes I know I get stuck in that. It's like, oh my gosh, I need to re-record my video. I look like an old lady. You know, like overthinking it. Just know that when you get into action, that's when things are really going to work itself out. I like to tell my team, action brings clarity, right? You're confused, you're overwhelmed, you're looking at Ashley thinking, I'm never going to be be like her, don't overthink it. You're your own person. That is what I love about social media, is that you have the key to be your authentic self. And if people don't like it, tell them to kick the little cute rocks anyway. But it's gonna happen, naturally, right? This is a way for you to attract the people that you actually want to work with. You don't need to work with everybody. You want to work with the people that have the same vision as you. And that's what I really love about social media, that it weeds through those people, right? Okay, so here's an example of attraction marketing. Ashley already covered this. But once you create that curiosity, what do you do after? People normally show up in your DMs. If not, if they comment on your post, you can DM them and start that conversation. You guys, this is all about creating authentic relationships. Serve before you sell. Don't go in thinking, I'm going to sell this lady liquid collagen. She is going to buy it today. No, you have to have a different mindset. Look at that person like a human. I love what Carrie Dickey says. She says, find a friend, find their pain. Did I say that right? Make a friend. I know if I said it wrong. But it's true, you guys. When you can authentically reach the other person because you ask the right questions, that is where the magic happens. And then use the groups. Lean on the tools. You don't have to be the expert. It took me 14 years to be able to stand up here and even act like I know what I'm talking about, right? It's true. You guys, it's okay to not be perfect. And then this is the first touch video. I like to say lean on the tools. So after you get people excited, raising their hand, lean on the tools, send them a video, whether you have a Facebook group, a customer education group, whatever that looks like for you. That's actually one of the reasons I do like Facebook. Unfortunately, Instagram doesn't have that feature, but there is a feature where people can subscribe, right? So there is some features there that you can use, so I love that. And just know that consistency and duplication over time, using this consistently in your life. What we like to do on our team is host DMO challenges, where we're coming together as a team, committing to 30 days of posting every single day on social media, and guess what happens? People see increased conversations. They find that they're getting more customers when they're doing the consistent actions every single day.
All right, I do post on Facebook, but I am lazy and I don't like to talk to people, so I'm not messaging anyone. I just have my Instagram and Facebook links. Whenever I post on Instagram, automatically post on Facebook. But when you master content that goes viral to the right people and you attract the right people, you're gonna grow your audience. I started this, and on my Facebook page, I have gained maybe 20,000 followers, and on Instagram, 40,000 followers, just by posting. Not messaging people, not searching for anyone, like literally just sharing this. Because I mastered what my audience responds to and what brings people in. And so I'm gonna share my viral reel formula with you and then give you another option. But what works is before and afters. And if you're conservative, like you don't have to show your whole body, like you can wear clothes that cover you up, do what works for you, but P84, this is a perfect time for you to document your journey. What I did before I started Mind Body was I went through my closet, I pulled all the clothes out that didn't fit or were super tight, put them in a basket, I set up my phone, and I put each outfit on, recorded a video of me being like, look at that fat! And then a month later, I put those same clothes on, recorded, it was like, whoa, my fat's down. And then a month later, I did the same thing. So you can do that in whatever way you want, but that is what sells. People see the transformation before their eyes. And the reason I like to be like, here's my fat. Remember, you have 3 seconds. You need a visual hook, 3 seconds to get someone's attention. So you don't just want to be like people are going to keep scrolling. But if you're doing something, then you're going to get them to stop their scroll. So the beginning of my reel is always like, here's where I was, here's how I felt, here's how I looked. And then I show, here's what I look like now. And literally I did this like 11 days into my body. I was like, wow, I feel different. I'm gonna make a video. It wasn't a huge transformation. I literally did this like every 2 weeks at the beginning. But I'm like, here's what I look like now by doing one thing. I'm not telling them what it is. Comment info if you want the details. And so that format works. So at the beginning of my journey, I was creating reels consistently. And now, I'll be honest with you, I have not created a new reel in months. What I do is I just go back to those ones that performed really well, and I just repost them. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. I will look, which reels had 1,000 or more comments, I'm just gonna repost it. And that's how I was able to grow my account and bring so many people in. But in the beginning, before I had that transformation, I was doing a lot of vlogs. Spend the morning with me, what I eat in a day, activate participate with me. And so I would just prop my phone up and I would record myself like mixing my mind and body, not showing the label or anything, holding up the yellow pill, taking it, and doing all the things. And I would then take all of those little clips from my camera roll and I use the app InShot. This is my preferred app, InShot. It's free, it's gonna ask you to upgrade every day. Don't, I've never paid for it. But you just bring my clips in, I trim the edges, and then I record a little voiceover in there. There's a microphone. So after my kids go to bed, and it's kids, I'll be like, spend the morning with me as a mom before on a weight loss journey. And I started my day with coffee, and then I took an all-natural GLP-1 activator that curbs my cravings and it heals my gut. Next, I'm going to take this little yellow pill, which has removed my brain fog and allows me to drink less coffee. Notice how I'm not using any science or anything there. I'm just hitting those pain points that I know my audience, other moms, are feeling. They're tired, they have brain fog, they're hungry, they have cravings, they have digestive issues. And those vlogs sold so well at the beginning because it was educating people, but also just seeing how easy it was to incorporate that into my life. Now I really just focus on the before and afters, but I document me taking those things almost every single day in my stories. And in the last session I said, if you guys are posing with P84 like this, please don't do that. Like, we don't do that anymore. I used to do that, that's like not cool anymore. Instead, prop your phone up and record yourself like pouring your package, stirring it up, shaking it up, drinking it. That's much more effective than holding the bag next to your face, okay? I just wanna like help you. Now, we're talking about automations very quickly because this is what everybody wants to ask me about. And the thing is, you can't do this. You cannot get to this point until you master creating viral content, until you are getting so many people commenting on your content that you're like, I can't possibly message these people. When you get to that point, this is your future. This is how you're going to reclaim your time and energy and sanity. So this is ManyChat. It integrates with Instagram and Facebook. I have it set up on both. And when somebody comments info on my reel, ManyChat responds to them. It says, great, just send you a message. And then it sends them the DM. And the first thing that happens is it says, great, what is your name and email address? Because I built my email list. Remember when my accounts were hacked with the squirrel people? Like, I kept going because I had an email list. If your accounts get hacked, you lose everything, okay? And I had to hire a lawyer and pay thousands of dollars to get those back, which most people can't do. So you want to have an email list. So they get zero information until they give me their name and email. And I get people who are like, I don't want to give you my email. And then I'm like, okay, well, you don't get the info. Go find someone else. Like, I'm not messing around. Okay? So that email, they do get a series of emails. What I did at the beginning, so for those of you starting P84, this is what you should do. Document your journey every day. So when I started my body, I would write a little email to my list every day, being like, it's day 4, here's how I'm feeling, here's my 11-day update. And so now that's a sequence. So when people today comment info, they're getting that sequence that I wrote at the beginning. So they're literally going through that journey and seeing how I felt day by day, and I'm selling them in there as well. But in the DMs, they get videos, transformation photos. This is where I pitch for Tandem, collagen, and I give them links. I always give 3 purchasing options because most people will go with the second one. So if you're always leading with the cheapest option, you're missing out on money. Most people will take the second option, if not the third most expensive option. But again, you have to get to a point where you need this before you set it up. And what really sells for me is social proof. Social proof is the most important part of marketing besides storytelling. So my husband lost 50 pounds in 4 months on MindBody. And I low-key hate him for that. Like, it's not fair. But I pimped him out all over the internet. And do you know how many women buy this for their husbands because of that? Like, okay. So I'm constantly sharing him. Every Sunday in my customer chat, I say, share your non-skill victories. How are you guys feeling? I take their testimonials, I screenshot them, I put them in my stories. Because now other people are like, okay, it's not just her. Look at all these other people. And then that's what builds trust and leads to sales.
I love it. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit and really share with you how we talk about the business. And I'm going to hack this. You want me to tell you my secret of what I've learned over almost 14 years of sharing the business with people? You want to know what that is? I'm going to keep it super simple. Passion and enthusiasm, you guys. People follow those that that know where they're going. Okay, you have to paint the possibility and the vision because you are breaking down the walls of all the excuses that they have as to why they say no. But guess what builds momentum? It's belief. It's not some magic sentence. It's not some magic video. It's you getting uncomfortable and giving them the vision as to why they need to do this. You're effectively sharing your story so effectively that people are raising their hand. Have you ever seen those people that are so freaking fired up, you don't know what they're selling, you're just like, sign me up, right? Sign me up. I don't know what that girl's doing. Courtney Watkins, she's amazing on social media. I'm like, I join her. I'd be like, oh, that girl looks like she knows what she's doing. Why? Because she shares the business with passion and enthusiasm. It exudes from her. That is what we need to do, you guys. There is somebody just like me with $50 in their bank account right now. I talked to a woman last week who can't even drive her kids to, so she can't afford the gas to drive her kids to daycare to get to work. Okay? We have something for those people, and people join for different reasons. Maybe it's not a financial crisis. Maybe it's a community crisis. People want to be a part of something greater than themselves. So if you're not painting the vision properly, you're greatly doing themselves a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice. Think about that person that messaged Andrea Ebert yesterday, that leader from that other company, that was like, would she say, rue the day that I didn't tell you about the opportunity? Think about those people, you guys. Those people, this is bigger than ourselves. I want you to understand that. We can give you all the tools, we can tell you about our automations, our social media strategy, but at the end of the day, you have to get out of your own way. You have to be the person that somebody is going to say, I give everything and I will let you mentor me because you know where you are going. That is the key to building this business. Okay, when you understand that, if you don't have that belief, borrow somebody else's. Use your mentor. I had the best mentor in the entire industry, Miss Carrie Dickey here. She said, Jenny, don't even overthink it, which is good because I overthink everything. She said, just put them on the phone with me. Just put them on the phone with me. We didn't have any fancy social media strategy. In fact, the first 6 years of me building this business, I didn't even use social media. We were putting paper invitations in people's mailboxes and Ask Ray Allen. Like we were working it hard. I remember letting 30 chairs to a meeting in Temecula with Carrie Dickey. That's probably when I did my 2-hour presentation, by the way, nobody signed up. Okay? So we've been there, we've done that. But what it comes down to is your vision. Okay? And it's not about having the perfect script, although I will share some of the DM business scripts that we put together for you. Maybe you're not going to relate with these, but here's an example of what an in-person conversation would be like. But most importantly than the words, it's the vision. What does Maya Angelou say? I'm not going to probably butcher this, but it's not about what people say. It's not even what they do, it's how you make people feel, right? It's all about that, painting that vision for people. And I love how you share the opportunity. So great. It's all yours, Ashley.
So I take a very different approach because remember, I didn't want to join a network marketing company, and I am an introvert. My greatest fear is someone telling me I have to host a party in my house and talk about these products. Like, no, I'd rather be poor. Like, I'm not going to get on the phone, I'm not going to go Zoom, I'm not going to meet anyone. Like, no. So, if Courtney, when I got on that call with her, she said, well, this is network marketing. You have to be a leader. You have to build a community. I'd be like, I'm out. Like, I'll just be a customer. Let me give my money to Lacey. But she was like, you can just share your link. You can just be an affiliate. And I was like, oh, okay. Because surely I'm going to get hot and people are going to ask what I'm doing and I want to give them my link. Like, yeah, I'll do that. And then the business exploded. And I started to attract people like me who also were like, I don't want to do that kind of stuff, but I'll gladly give my link. People are asking me. It's so funny because I was like, I don't want to build a team. And within 1 week, like half of my customers had upgraded to consultants. And I was like, oh, now I have a team. So I was like, okay, let's go with it. So I promote this as just be an affiliate. Just share your link. Your sister's going to ask how you're getting hot and happy. You can refer her to me or you can give her your link. Let's monetize your glow up. Like if you're going to do something, why not share it and make money doing it? So I just share a very low-key approach and bring them in, and then they learn about the compensation plan, and if they want to build a team or they also have customers operating, then they get a team, and that's just how it works. And And so if you are like me and you're like, I don't really want to do all of that networking stuff, you don't have to. You can approach it like this.
And I love that our evolved compensation plan that we have the vision to create something that fits both people, right? So maybe you don't identify with sharing the affiliate aspect of this, but there's something for everybody, so I get fired up about that. All right, so here's our bonus training. Now I get it. Most people think AI is the devil, which it probably is, but like anything, including your cell phone, you could use it for the wrong purpose. All right, and I'm not telling you to go get a ChatGPT girlfriend or boyfriend, because that happens. We're going to utilize this because it's going to help your time, your efficiency. In fact, I sat down the other day with one of my team members and we built out a whole training system for our Monday night trainings. What would have taken us about a month or maybe two took us 2 hours on chat. Okay, so just know that you don't have to use it for everything, but in regard to creating your social media content, and it really kind of helps to bring all of your ideas together, just know that the more you use it, the better you're going to get at it, and that you're going to want to feed it information. I would not suggest feeding it anything personal, but this is all about utilizing it for business, right? So here's some example prompts that you can feed it, but it's incredible. In fact, I love this. Ashley shared this in our last training. Her husband responds, he's her employee, and he responds to her messages to all the females that are saying what? So what does he do? He takes those messages, puts them in chat, and he responds to them. Use that example, it's hilarious. I mean, it was so funny.
You know, I
Use this chat.
And women that'll be like, listen, I have my period, and he's like, oh girl, I got you. And then he goes to chat, GPT, and tells her what to say.
Yeah, but how you can respond to that, you don't really get what these people have to go through, but it's true. So here's some examples of how you can use it, you guys. You can do this in regard to their products. Maybe somebody's looking for a specific issue, a problem with an issue that they have. So you can utilize chat. It's pretty, my chat probably wants to sign up in my Advantage at this point, because it knows everything about the products. Because I've trained it, right? I trained it to help me be efficient with my time. And ultimately, you guys, we want to be the most efficient network marketers that there is, because the time is short. You guys, we are in the moment where momentum is happening, and you're either going to ride the wave or you're not. So we're going to close this up today, but you guys, I'm inspired, and I think this is going to be fun. We're going to see massive growth.
All right, so we have some homework for you to do. And if you're sitting here thinking, like, I'm too old to be on social media, I think 10 people have stopped me and been like, but I'm 60 years old. And I'm like, that's amazing. You have an advantage. 20-year-olds are a dime a dozen on social media. But there's an untapped market for people 40 and over. And how amazing. Imagine posting a video and getting 100 people your age with the same issues as you being like, oh my gosh, like, how can I get this? Isn't that a dream? That's what social media can do for you. And I'm telling you, if you are missing out, if you're like, I'm too old, or I'm a man, someone just told me that, and I'm like, so? I'm pretty sure half the population is men. Like, go find them. Okay? So, share the hero products. Jenny recommends talking to 5 to 10 people. That gives me anxiety, so I say post 5 to 10 times. You decide what's best for you. Get active on social media. Start showing up in your stories. If you don't have a large following, great. You can practice because nobody's watching you. Nobody's going to see what you're doing. And by the time you get followers, you'll be like, I'm a pro. I'm so comfortable on camera. I'm famous. I want you to create your struggle web, your micro stories, rich stories. I want you to really actually write those down so that every time you're like, what should I post? You can just look and be like, oh, I haven't shared that one yet. Let's talk about that. And build a consistent posting plan. You have to be consistent on social media. I have maybe missed 3 days of posting to my stories in like 10 years. I'm not kidding you. In labor, I was like literally, give me my phone, I gotta post. Because I love taking my audience on that journey with me. And when you build an audience, I think people think social media is this terrible place, but I've had horrible things happen in my life. Like one time I had a miscarriage, and literally people sent me gifts that I've never met, just from social media, because they become your family almost, okay? So take people along your journey. So get used to posting. I now post reels a few times a week because I've earned that ability. At the beginning, I was posting every day because then you get better. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And then you don't have to do it as much because you have a bigger following. So are you willing to put in the work now so that your life can be so much easier later? Right? That's the power of social media.
share this because I feel like we need to get a little real. You know, I've been really working on myself lately and just figuring out what I need to do to level up as a leader. You know when you get carried and crying? Sometimes we get in these spaces where we're just comfortable, right? Our business is going well, things look good, but we're doing ourselves a disservice because we're not leveling up. You guys, I want to tell you something. We can give you the entire blueprint to success, but sometimes it's not about what you do, it's what you give up. It's what you're willing to become, that leader that you're willing to become, to work on yourself, to own your stuff, and to rise. And I want to tell you that each and every one of you do have something in your life that is not serving you. It's not serving you today, it never has, and as I am talking, you know exactly what that is. You guys, we are a generation of leaders. This company, the world needs to know about it. And instead of all this stuff that we just taught you, I want you to understand that giving up the things that aren't serving you means more than any of this. So I hope that that message resonates with you. I'm on a journey myself to be the best version for my team, to be the best version for those that trust in me. And you guys, that's what this business and this company and this industry is capable of teaching you. So I hope you stick it out. I hope you leave today and you get into massive action because we love you and we know that this is